also like to welcome our visitors. Thank you for supporting Young Talent at the Classic. Arby's invites you to visit the concession stand for a delicious Arby sandwich, or stop by one of our 14 Arby's locations, including our newest location on West State Street in Bristol, where we have the meats. senior, number 0, Zach Harris. At forward, the 6'10" senior, number 5, Cade Pendleton. At guard, a 6' senior, number 10, Colby Mason. At guard, a 5'10" sophomore, number 11, Ashton Munson. And at forward, a 6'7" junior, number 35, Zachariah Labou. The Hurricanes are led by head coach Andy Webb, assisted by Ricky Taylor, Tyler Lowry, Jordan Hall. And now for their first appearance in the tournament, the Tampa Catholic Crusaders begin with their reserve players. Number 0, Christian Cole. Number 4, Alex Mejia. Number 11, Caleb Gatewood. 12, Colin Barnes. Number 13, Jackson Roberts. Number 14, Donnie Lewis. And number 24, Jordan Spicer. Your starting lineup for Tampa Catholic. At guard, a 6'3" junior, number 1, Edwin Bronson. At guard, a 5'11" freshman, number 2, Isaiah Campbell Finch. At forward, a 6'1" senior, number 3, Roderick Watson Pearson. At guard, a 6'4" junior, number 5, Carmelo Ranch. And at guard, a 6'5" sophomore, number 21, Carter Knox. Crusaders are led by head coach Don Ozagwa. Assisted by Dave Bronson, Scott Jenks, Kevin Knox, Ron Myrick, and Ryan Turner. The official score for tonight's game is Bill Grubbs. The block operator is Jason Stoffel. Your game officials are John Peters, Adam Buckles, and DJ Swatzel.
Good evening and welcome to the 38th annual Arby's Classic. We have a nice matchup here at our 8:30 and final game of the evening between the Tampa Catholic Crusaders and the East Hamilton Hurricanes. East Hamilton, close victory yesterday, leading into this matchup against Tampa Catholic. Two pretty lanky athletic teams here, I believe. Should be a good one. Tampa Catholic controls the tip. First time in 2 games we actually had a tip, right?
Yeah, pretty exciting stuff.
So, number 21.
I guess everybody stayed away from the rim on that these warm-ups.
Learned a lesson. Coaches are on them. So, number 21, Carter Knox, missed the initial shot, got the offensive board, took it in strong, got himself an and one there. Opportunity for the old-fashioned three-point play here on this first possession. Shot is up, left a little bit short. Rebound there by number 35, Zachariah Labo. So into the front court here for East Hamilton. Udawa, little errant pass there, turnover. Speaking of Knox, Knox is one of the more highly rated players in the entire sophomore class in the country, rated as high as number 13, I believe, in the ESPN Top 100. So he'll be one to watch this evening for sure. Ball's in his hands currently. Motion offense here for Tampa Catholic. Nice move into the lane. Lost it on the way up, number 5. It's Carmelo Branch. He's going to find himself at the free throw line.
Carmelo with a K.
Carmelo with a K.
Yeah.
And 2 L's on top of that. So
all right.
That's a little play on that.
Yeah.
2 free throws for him. First one's up and good. Again, East Hamilton out of Udawa, Tennessee, so they're the local team, if you will, for this evening's matchup, the Chattanooga area.
Certainly more local.
More local than Tampa, Florida, for sure. Number 5, Cade Pendleton with the rebound there.
I guess if Tabernacle had won yesterday, then they would have been then Tampa Catholic would have been the more local.
Yeah. I mean, Freeport, Bahamas, and Tampa. I don't know. I'm not sure. As the crow flies, which one's closer?
Pretty physical defense down there.
Nice play right there. It's a lot of big bodies out there. It's a good physical defense there for sure. Nice pass in there to Knox. Oh my goodness!
Mercy.
Almost tore the rim down. It went off the back of the iron, however.
It's because he didn't get to do them in warm-ups.
That's it. That's got to be what it is. Right? Coming back to the direction again. Up again to him. I think we got an offensive foul first.
Yep.
Good action right there, up and down. Knox really took off on that one, but lost it just a little bit on the throwdown attempt. Hit the back iron. So pressure up here by Tampa Catholic, and got a nice steal there by number 3, Roderick Watson Percy, and he puts up 2 points here. 5-0 lead in the early going. Down low, Labo could not get that one to go. Tampa pushing the pace, and up and scoring there is Edrin Bronson.
And quick timeout here by East Hamilton. The Hurricanes, a little bit tough for them here early. I mean, I'll tell you, down there, a really good job defensively, really walling up, not letting them have anything easy. No. And, I mean, that's really great defense. There's not a whole lot else to say about that.
Nope. And, I mean, size-wise, it looks like East Hamilton matches up well with what Tampa brings to the table here. But Tampa really looking to push the pace. Looks like they really want to get the ball off the backboard and run with it. So I'm sure that's what East Hamilton coach is talking about right now, is making sure that they get back on defense. Again, starting front court for East Hamilton goes 6'7", 6'10". So it's not they're not at a size. In fact, they're probably at a size advantage overall. But we got some really quick players out here for Tampa Catholic, and that's showing up right now. They really, again, they're pressing up hard as well in this full court press. East Hamilton's having some issues with it in the early going.
You're going to get a chance to run an underneath out of bounds play right here after that.
That's the truth.
Errant pass. God, you just hate that out of a timeout too.
Absolutely.
Golly day.
Yeah. So Campbell Finch to Keating. Really nice execution there. Knox left it a little bit short, but he's going to get himself to the free throw line right there. Nice execution, little peek in right there. And again, you got to know where number 21 is. He's the focal point of this offense, and he seems to be around the basketball a lot. I'd like to see that for a front court player, especially.
Absolutely.
First free throw's up. Bounces off. He's going to get a second one here. 7-0 here in the first 2 minutes of this final game. Nightcap, if you will, of the second night of the Arby's Classic. Second one's up and good.
Tampa Catholic, the last team to make their debut tonight. This tournament.
That's correct. Everybody else has played at least one ball game now. So it's a long three from Cade Pendleton. Off the rim, no good, and there's Knox again. And he's going to bring it in the front court on top of that.
Pretty good handle.
So, yeah, absolutely. Oh, good hands there. Knocked away. And, oh, my goodness, out of nowhere.
Heck of a chase down block right there.
Out of nowhere, Knox comes from behind. Swat that shot from Ashton Munson.
Yeah, I think Munson thought he was going to get a goaltend right there.
I thought Munson was going to. I thought he was going to cruise in for an easy two right there, and Knox said, "Not really, not happening."
I really didn't think they'd be able to catch him, but boy, oh boy,
it's a heck of a
play.
Sure
did.
Yep. Inlet pass is on the floor. Got to scramble for it. Looks like East Hamilton's going to run it down. Well, now you see why the number 13 in the sophomore class right there. That's not a fluke. Long, athletic kid. Still looks like he's probably got some room to fill out yet, but man, he's
pretty darn tough.
Pretty darn tough for being probably 16 years old. Nice run down the middle. Oh my goodness. Number 3, Roderick Watson Percy, really got up on that one. Surprised me even a little bit. Athletic fellow, yeah. Pushing the lead out to 10 points. Pendleton down low is going to get one. Turn and slam right there for Cade Pendleton, number 5. First points of the game for East Hamilton. Right back, though, is Knox. He lines one up and knocks it down. So, again, that really seems to be the way that Tampa wants to play. Get the ball out of the rim, get it out or off the backboard, and really push the pace. I mean, that was one pass and a shot, but it was a step-in 3 right there off that break.
It's really very similar to what we saw yesterday with Dorman. Dorman looked to push the pace very similarly, and the thing that really impressed me, and I was telling our team about it today, was the way that they change ends. I mean, it's just almost instantaneous, and that's what you're seeing here with Catholic as well.
Well, and that's coaching too. I mean, they've got to be coached that direction. Guys are not going to do that just naturally. But if you're taught to run your lanes well, no matter where you are on the floor, then that transition from defense to offense seems kind of seamless.
100%.
Right? And we're definitely seeing that with this bunch. So might be interesting if those two groups end up seeing each other down the road.
That'd be a fast ball game.
be a fun game to call, that's for sure.
Definitely be some up and down, but I don't know that you'd be able to get anybody's name out. It'd just be like, here they go, here they go, here they go. It's kind of like Tennessee's PA announcer this year.
That's it.
They didn't even try to call it out. It's just like first down.
Number 14, Donnie Morris in the game for Tampa Catholic, as well as number 0, Christian Cole. Sub for East Hamilton as well. Nick Long is in the ball game. Yeah, aforementioned Long tries to take Knox off the dribble, does so successfully, picking up a foul on the sophomore.
And I think if you're East Hamilton here, you just got to kind of weather the storm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Know? And, of course, you can't, like we've talked about with the other teams, you can't fall too far behind because they're not going to quit trying to score.
No.
But if you can weather this storm early and just hang around, some good things are going to happen for you.
Agreed, yeah.
A lot of really good footwork from a lot of these guys in this tournament.
Absolutely.
Nice.
Munson right there from long range. That's big time right there. Ashton Munson off that ball screen pulls East Hamilton back within single digits. And it looks like they're going to pick up an offensive foul there too. So they're starting to figure out, East Hamilton's starting to figure out exactly what Tampa wants to do in the half court. This is a dribble drive type of team, playing mostly 5 out, it looks like here.
Absolutely.
In that case. So again, you start to cut off driving lanes. And there's going to be opportunities for you to take charges in those types of situations. So nicely done there by East Hamilton. So again, we talk about stops and scores here in a lot of cases. You get momentum comes off of those scenarios where you're scoring on one end and getting stops on the other. And games like this one, which seemed like Tampa might run out to a pretty large lead, can get cut pretty quick. All these teams are talented. Let's move there as well. Yep. Here goes long into the front court, and that's going to be an offensive foul too. Yep, a little out of control there. It's a good way to put it.
It's like we talk about sometimes. The press sometimes is to get steals, but a lot of times it's just to speed you up. And when you speed people up and get them playing at the pace that they don't want to play at, they're going to make mistakes.
They'll turn it over for you. Right? Is a lot of times. And anytime you're in that scenario, being in the right position and trying to speed up the other team's process, a lot of times they'll do the work for you. The 2-pointer there, looks like.
Yep.
Put a foot on the line there for Bronson. Good-looking stroke there from him. He's another one that's being recruited at the Division I level from what I understand. So, again, lots of talent all over this tournament, obviously, from all accounts, is really bringing the talent level this year. And some of these teams stack 2 or 3 deep with the Division I recruits.
I mean, it sounds kind of cliche. It's to say, it's the best field we've ever had, and I don't know that you can say, because we've had so many great players here over the years, and it's so hard to compare a field from this year to 20 years ago or 25 years ago or whatever it is.
Yep.
You'd be hard-pressed to find a much better field.
Right. Well, and that's one thing about the Arby's that I've always really enjoyed is that this transitions well to that Division I game. There's been, years, Brunson knocks one down. There's been years where you couldn't watch a ball game where you didn't see somebody that played in the Arby's.
100%.
Right? So it's part of what makes this tournament special. But it's also, a lot of the proof is in the pudding, but the pudding is going to be 5 years down the road, where these guys are going to be upperclassmen in college a lot of times, where you're really going to see that happen.
So East Hamilton having to take a timeout here to get out of the trap. Let's take a minute, and we'll kind of get you familiar here a little bit with Tampa Catholic and some of what they're looking at. They're led by Hall of Fame coach who has 614 career wins. So that's pretty darn impressive. Then we've talked a little bit about Carter Knox, a 6'6 sophomore, ranked number 13, as CJ mentioned, by ESPN in his class. Says he's already drawn interest from Boise State. Now, I dare say that list is probably a little longer and will continue to grow. I doubt it's just people in Idaho interested in that Florida kid. Last season as a freshman, playing at a high level in Florida, 17.5 points, 5.7 rebounds, and about 3 assists a game. Eddie Bronson, as we talked about, 6'4 junior, scored 15 points a game last year, being recruited by Dayton and Fairfield. Of course, everybody knows Dayton is a really quality program. Roderick Watson-Percy netted 11 points and 4 boards a night, and Carmelo Branch 10 points and 5 rebounds and almost 3 assists. You just add those guys up, that's 50 points right there.
Right there. Yeah.
Just those 4 guys. So these guys can put some points on the board.
No doubt. Well, we're seeing that so far. It's a pretty explosive group, and one that definitely wants to push pace. If you allow them to get out, they seem to be pretty well schooled in where they're supposed to be. So Brunson right there, nice pass out to Long. A little short on that one. Long a little short in that scenario. So number 2, Campbell Finch into the front court, being harassed by Brunson. Takes it up strong right there, up and off the rim, no good. And out of bounds, staying here on this end. But yeah, that's a good rundown of a team that's got a lot of talent, obviously, and probably has it from the sophomore level on up. It looks like it to me. So.
I mean, that's one of the things, looking at a lot of the teams that we've seen already in the tournament, a lot of them are very junior, senior dominated and especially their best players.
Yep.
This team, the most highly touted player is a sophomore.
Yep.
And so that really bodes well for them.
Oh, no question.
Obviously going forward.
A little underneath out of bounds play there with number 5, Branch, making a quick 2. Good trap right there. It's broken by Brunson, though, and he's able to slide in and find a little 15-footer. He's been an effective player for East Hamilton so far. Right, Branch left that one a little short. Jackson Flemings was able to grab that board. Here goes Brunson again. Nice pass to the big man. Right, and a flush. Cade Pendleton, his second dunk of the game. Really nice find there by 11, Munson.
They call that the dunker spot for a reason, CJ.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
Nor would I.
I maybe found a couple of guys. On my best day, I could get it to them.
I could probably do it over there at Fairmount right now where they've got those goals set up for the elementary school kids. But no, not in real life.
I prefer to be outside that 20-foot mark right there. You get an extra point out there anyway.
Yeah, that's where a true story.
Paid for some of my college and the ability to do that. So anyway, that's good stuff, though. All right, taking up strong right there. Going to go number 14. Donnie Morris is going to end up at the free throw line here. Good interior pass, getting the big man to the free throw line for 2. 19-9. So again, it feels like Tampa Catholic has been, a step or two ahead in this process. But again, this game is still easily within striking distance, and East Hamilton's starting to find their feet a little bit on the offensive end. Running their offense through Munson seems to be the best. What they've done best so far. He's a pretty good creator. So I'd expect we're going to see a couple more opportunities there. So second one up, no good. Board there by Long. The aforementioned Munson with the ball into the half court. 5-out offense here. Now Long kind of dips down into the post.
Kind of running along the baseline right there.
Yep. Seen a lot of that 5-out. A lot of these teams are pretty perimeter oriented.
It's really the way the game is going.
Positionless basketball, yes. And there's Munson again, working that top of key area. Some fancy dribbling right there. Got himself just enough space to get that shot off, and he buried it. He has been their offense so far. Nice move there.
Nice.
Really good dribble
really
weave.
Good
dribble weave, but could not finish. Of course, 6'10" Pendleton had something to say about that. Again, I've seen a lot of that too. A lot of these teams love that top of the key. Whoa, my goodness!
Mercy.
Yeah,
putting him on skates right there, and gets it to go. That gets a rise out of this Viking Hall crowd.
Yep.
Still a pretty darn good crowd here.
Absolutely.
Late night on
in
a
and out
Tuesday
there
night.
For Bronson. I lost my train of thought there.
I
had some pointing to say, and that was too good of a move.
I'll tell you, and his guys let him know about it when he came over here to the bench. That was good stuff.
All right, so at the end of one, we got ourselves a ball game. 20-14. Tampa, who was ahead by double digits for most of that first quarter, now finds themselves in a two-possession ball game, mostly due to the work of Ashton Munson there in the second half of that second quarter. He was dynamite in that case. So we're going to step aside here for just a quick minute. We'll be back with you guys to start the second quarter here shortly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Appalachian Orthopedics is proud to be the official orthopedic provider of the Arby's Classic. Appalachian Orthopedics providers know that injuries occur when you least expect them and require prompt diagnosis and treatment. That is why they offer their orthopedic urgent care walk-in clinic at the Bristol, Midway, Johnson City, and Kingsport locations, saving patients up to 60%
Welcome back to Viking Hall. 38th annual Arby's Classic here this evening. The final game of the evening between East Hamilton and Tampa Catholic. Competitive first quarter. Tampa Catholic leading out for most of that quarter in double figures fashion, but now nice little run there by East Hamilton to finish the quarter. And it's going to be their ball coming out.
I think they finished on like a 10-3 run. I'm pretty
right
sure it was
there.
17-4.
Yeah, it was somewhere in that range. So nice run by those guys to be able to get themselves right back in the thick of things here. So some stops and scores there we were talking about is exactly what got him into it. And this guy with the ball in his hands right now has been dynamite, and he's going up for it again. That was right on line, just a little bit short. Munson left that one a little bit short. Here goes Tampa in that transition mode. This is what they want to do. Bronson lost the handle there. And Munson's going to go back into the front court here, looking for some help. Lost his dribble. Going to kick the ball over the top. Oh, I don't think that's what he was trying to do, but found a teammate anyway.
I don't think that was the intended receiver, but it was the receiver.
It worked out just fine. I got a little jump ball there, it looks like. Yep. So, jump ball there. Colby Mason.
Trying to keep a little order out here.
Yeah. Again, saw that exactly how Tampa wants to play right there. Off of that rebound, man, they had three guys hitting the lanes and had an opportunity there for a layup, just couldn't quite convert. That is where they've been at their most effective so far tonight. Man-to-man action here in the half court. Bronson with the ball, a little ball screen there. He's going to pull up for it and knock it down. Good look at it. Edrin Bronson. Looks like he's a pretty effective player right there in that two-man game. Knocks down a three there to extend the lead to 9. Nice step through there. Taking it up strong, and one right there with Campbell Finch taking it up high. Bronson trying to challenge him there. Campbell Finch was able to score over the top. He's going to head to the free throw line for one.
That's one of those things, tell kids all the time, try not to pick up those dribbles in the corner. You know, if you get into a corner there, it's really tough.
Another way, I was talking to my guys a lot of times about that, and you know, I find myself in that position once or twice as a player. You're just like, there's a reason why that area's open. There's a reason why it's open. That's where they want you to go.
That is a fact.
So
there's a reason they're letting you get there, because it ain't because you're super quick.
You're playing right into their hands right there, that's for sure. All right, scramble on the rebound. Looks like it's going to be out of bounds heading towards East Hamilton in this case. Yep, Tampa's coming out a little diamond here. 1-2-2.
Yeah, that's kind of what they started in. They played a little different, though. They chased with the two wing guys a little bit more.
They leave the yes, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, they didn't that time. That time they did more like you see, like Scientill used to do with their diamond in one press. But, you know, the first time when they threw it in, basically both of the wing guys chased when they threw it long, and they tried to trap out of it that way, which is a little bit different.
That is a little different, but it also leaves your ball hawk there in a position where they can stop that reversal pass.
Yeah, and if you think about it too, that's a long way for the guy on the ball to go.
Sure.
And so if your guy can beat him to the spot, this guy who's the wing can really get there.
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty unique. I might have to steal that at some point.
And from just a logistical perspective, if that ball goes up to the free throw line extended or just below, then there's not really any reason for your ball hawk to go after it.
Yeah.
He's just going to be cut off the reversal pass. It's actually shorter for your two guys' goods. Smart. I think that I hadn't really seen that before either. But that's
I like that. Now they've switched. Now they're in more of a 2-2-1. Actually, it looks like they are still in that 2-2-1.
Yeah. Oh, nice pick right there. Really quick hands there by Campbell Finch. He's been giving these guards fits out here, especially this quarter.
Staying low to the ground too. Really like that.
Yep.
Inviting that trap. Good.
Yep.
Well,
long pass.
Good job by that back guy that time.
That's Knox. Great anticipation on the back end. He saw it really happening before it even happened. Moved himself into that passing lane. Was able to cause a turnover. So again, now we're back to a 13-point lead. Tampa Catholic's kind of reasserting themselves here at the beginning of the second quarter.
And, of course, it's starting with their defense.
It is.
Starting with that press. I mean, you know, and that's the thing. When you're a really good pressing team, when you can really get into it and really bother people, you can turn a close game into a really not close game in no time.
There's Carmelo with the K right there with the long-range three. pushing this lead out to 16 points. And
a little danger time here for
East
Hamilton.
I was thinking the same thing.
Even this early, it's a little danger time
there
for
you go.
them.
Into the passing
here
lane.
they go again. We're going to get a little showtime right here.
Yep. Bronson with
he took a little off of that one.
Yeah, he may be saving that for the next round right here. Yeah, he said.
We're saving that for Thursday night when we do the old duck contest.
Nice play there by Bronson. Again, another Division I level recruit that we're seeing roll through. Really talented groups, and they're as these guys get more comfortable in this tournament, you're going to see more and more of that stuff come out. And it's just like anything else. When these guys see this level of talent that they're going up against, and these guys all read each other's press clippings, they do.
Absolutely.
Right? When they come into a tournament of this magnitude, they're all finding out who these guys that they're going to go up against happen to be, where they're getting, who's recruiting them, how they ranked in certain aspects as well. Of course, you still have the team elements that are going on here too, but these guys all
they're all on Instagram.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
In the internet age, they're all checking each other out. You know how that happens to be in terms of how things all stack up. So I think that's a natural part of the process, but it's also why people come out and fill the stands here. That's what we want to see. So
I mean, you're getting to see really, really high-level talent right here. And, I mean, I'll just tell you, and, I mean, we've talked about it a little bit already. The next couple days have a chance to be super fun.
Absolutely.
Especially those afternoon and evening sessions, just super fun because you're going to have good matchup after good matchup.
Yeah.
I mean, the morning sessions will be good matchups. They'll be close games, probably a lot of pretty evenly matched teams. And then as we go in, later in the day, like you watch a team like this, if they end up matched up with Amarillo, for example.
Yep.
I mean, what a contrast in styles and what fun that could be.
Yeah, I mean, it's size and discipline and execution versus get out and play above the rim. And that's part of the reason why people want to come watch these ball games. There's Munson again. He's been super aggressive offensively, and it seems like East Hamilton needs him to be. He's been their best creator so far. But that's just how this goes. I mean, part of what makes this tournament special and makes it even maybe a little bit different than what we've seen is the fact that this tournament's been around almost 40 years now, first of all. And second of all, it's always been a draw for really high-level teams and really high-level Division I recruits. And so when people
and as a result, really high-level crowds.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. When facility that can seat 5,000 people, you just don't find that for high school basketball games, really anywhere. So you would equate it to a certain extent with a little bit of the kind of crazy Texas high school football in terms of the magnitude of the crowds. So this is a really pretty cool experience, and I'm glad it's back. Obviously, last year was last year and a half have been kind of tough on just the whole process, but it's really good to see the crowds back. That's for sure.
No question.
We've got a 1-on-1 coming up here. Tampa Catholic heading to the line. Roderick Watson-Piercy has been pretty impressive, good athlete, heading to the line for a 1-on-1. First shot's up and off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Long. Again, East Hamilton trying to work their way back in. We got right almost the halfway point of the second quarter. They really, again, need some stops and need some scores here to kind of cut this lead out. Munson's doing the best he can, but they're starting to figure him out a little bit. He's a talented player, but the defense is starting to squeeze a little bit on him.
Especially with those guards, they're every bit as quick as he is and a little bit bigger. Makes it really hard on him. I mean, he's a terrific, small guard.
Yeah. Well, look at the length of these other guards out here that he's going up against. Yeah, absolutely.
You look right now, look at these two guys. Both of those guys coming to trap him are a little bit bigger than him.
Yep.
So we've seen them get out and run. We know they're pretty quick.
They are, for sure. So got a foul there. Looks like number 10. Mason's going to head to the line. 15 foul on Tampa Catholic.
But again, that's another remarkable thing about them. They've only committed 5 team fouls.
Right.
Pressing and trapping and really getting after people. Yep. I mean, a lot of people talk about, and fairly so, like a team like Amarillo who's really disciplined and, executes and all this. this is discipline also.
Yeah.
To be able to press and trap like that and not foul.
Yeah, in some ways, that's even more impressive. Yeah.
It takes a ton of discipline.
Yeah.
You know, it's so hard to do because it's so easy to get your hands on somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to, you know, think about, oh, well, I'm gonna take this one little shove, and that's going to help. No, I mean, I don't think they have been fouling.
No.
I mean, it's not like they're getting away with them. I think that they're playing really good defense.
Yeah. Positioning's been really good. They're quick, and they don't play with that hack and slap mentality. Yeah. It's much more about getting their body in the right position, having wide hands, right, and moving laterally. If you do those things, you don't have to hack and slap. Right?
And getting deflections and jumping passing lanes. I
Absolutely.
mean, they're not trying, even though they've gotten a few.
There it is.
There we go.
3-point miss leads to a run out, and Knox hammers it down. Really nice look there as well.
Absolutely.
That's how you do it. And again, impressive by a big guy. He's underneath when that shot goes up, and he beat everybody else down the floor to be able to get up and
he knows what's going to happen if he does.
Well, see, that's motivation in its own right, but you know, that's a testament to a guy that really isn't resting on his laurels. Right? A guy that really is a highly rated player, but you know, a lot of times is that effort going to be there? Well, it was there on that play for sure.
And right there, a little run and jump action.
Yep.
I mean, that's the other thing. They're changing up their presses. They're doing a lot of different things. Nice shot right there by Munson.
Yep.
But, you know, everything they do, they don't bail you out by fouling.
Nope. Well, and again, as we've seen seen it a couple of different times in terms of just getting
nice take.
Yep, it was a nice take. Good body control there, not to draw a charge as well. Good board there, good tough board there by Pendleton. Risky pass, right? Ball out of bounds there, heading back to Tampa Catholic. So yeah, been very impressed with the way that they really swarm to the ball, but they do that in a way that is based on good fundamentals, and that has allowed them to go through an entire first half playing the way they play with only 5 fouls. I think that's a solid point. So as we wane down here at the towards the end of the first half, we got 2 minutes and 58 seconds remaining. This game's kind of started out about where it is now, with Tampa Catholic jumping out to a double-figure lead. We had some good action by East Hamilton towards the end of the first quarter that got them back within 6 points, and this lead has ballooned back out to 13 in this case. Tampa Catholic really has used defense to transition to offense here. It's one thing that they've done really well, really all game long. And East Hamilton's had a hard time keeping the ball under control with the length and athleticism that Tampa brings to the table. So we'll see if they can get that figured out. But Tampa Catholic is they've got some highly rated players for a reason. That's not just conjecture. There's one of them right there, Brunson with a long three. Missed that one to the left. This gives East Hamilton an opportunity here to cut into the lead. Again, it's the old coaching adage here in the last 2 minutes and 45 seconds. If you're East Hamilton, you just want to make sure this game's under 10 points going into halftime, right? If you can cut it below that, great. But you want to make sure you're in single digits if at all possible before half. Just from a psychological perspective, that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it just helps you, as you said, psychologically, and just feel like you're within shooting range.
Right.
I mean, when you get that lead out to 15 or 20, it just is so much different going into that locker room.
Yeah.
It's almost a different conversation.
It is.
As a coach with your kids, because, then it's, we've got to try to get it down to 10. We've got to try to get it within single digits.
Yep.
If we can get within single digits by X, such and such a time, then we're going to be in good shape. Whereas if you're down 10 or you're down 9, okay.
Yep.
Here, we're 3 possessions. Got a chance to get here.
A couple of buckets, and we're right back in it. Yeah. Nice pass right there by Knox. Good D by Long there. East Hamilton protecting the rim pretty well. But there's a big battle down low. Not getting any defensive boards here. Although Pendleton pulled that one out there. Good for him.
Yeah, he finds it.
Yep. So,
one thing I'll also note for East Hamilton is they are missing their regular starting point guard, DeLeon Petty, who's not here.
Well,
so,
that's a big deal.
I mean, especially in a game like this where that team's pressing the whole game.
Yeah, you need
not
that
having
lead guard.
your lead guard makes a little bit of a difference. trying to high point that ball, as they say in football.
Yeah, couldn't quite pull it off. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, a little showtime.
Showtime.
Little razzle-dazzle.
Saw it coming right there. Give number 0, Cole, a credit for that. By his counterpart, however, Zach Harris hits a 3 from that corner, so the Zeros out there making plays back to back. That's a heck of a play by Cole, though. I saw him kind of give a look out of the corner of his eye and knew that Knox was coming. It's a heck of a play. But again, 3-pointer on the other end cuts this right back down to 12 points. It's a minute and a half to go. Yep. Second one of those that I believe that's been called. That's one of those iffy ones that you feel like if there's a lot of body contact, that maybe that's okay. I think that one that's just kind of a play on. There's a little bit of contact. Didn't feel like it really affected the play all that much. Sometimes these guys in stripes get a little charge happy, in my opinion. But that's a conversation for another time.
It's a conversation. As a person who's currently coaching, it's a conversation I'm not going to have.
Understand. You got to work with these folks. Right?
That's a fact. I actually was talking to that particular official in the hospitality room. So yeah, I don't think that I'll
touch that one.
I don't think I'll comment on that one these days.
Well, that's not something I have to worry about, I guess. So. And those opinions we can throw out, but again, those bang plays like that are always tough to call.
I mean, the block charge is the hardest call in basketball anyway, and yeah, that one in particular, that type of spin move like that. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, it's really, like you said, bang, and I mean, some folks are going to see it one way and some the other, and it's like we always say. Usually, when you go to a ball game, half the people are going to be happy with every call, and half of them are not. So. It kind of is how it is. I've
heard some conversations I find really interesting about what would the game be like if you just took the charge out of the game. Where if a defense it's not a call that can be made, block charge, it's either going to be a foul or it's either going to be a foul on the defense or it's just going to be a play on. I don't know. I think that would be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what a game would look like without that. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. And again, I'm not sure it would be better or worse. It would just be interesting to see. Right. And this comes from a guy that, I got part of my scholarship paid because I was willing to give up my body to take charges. 100%. Trust me. Right?
I mean, and I think it is. It's an important role on a team the way the game is played now.
Right.
But you got to have kids who are willing to do it.
Correct.
And we have a couple on our team right now that are,
yep.
and every time they do it, it gets our team fired up.
Yep.
I mean, we had a young lady a few years ago, Sydney Mitchell, who was the best I'd ever seen at it. Heck, fire, she took 40 charges in a year.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's a certain amount of skill to it. You got it in terms of angles and understanding. You just got to be able to do that. A couple of threes have gone awry here in the last couple of possessions. We've got to travel here in that case. So again, yeah, absolutely. It's just one of those things. I just found that kind of an interesting conversation.
It is. It's a definite interesting hypothetical.
Yep.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I do like in that they've adopted in college basketball now the semicircle that they use in the pros. I mean, that's something I've always thought, because really, if you're taking one right under the basket,
that doesn't mean you played very good defense.
Have you really done a good job defensively?
Probably not.
I mean, if you let them get that deep, I think. I mean, we had a couple last night that were taken in that area. And it's always kind of like, I mean, great, but also I just don't think that's very good defense. And I think you're rewarding pretty bad defense right there. And I do like the restricted areas, they call it in the pros, or the semicircle in college basketball. And I'm really glad they've adopted that. I kind of wish that we would do that in high school basketball.
Yeah, frankly. I think it would make the referee's job easier. Right?
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a visual out there that keys everybody. And it does, I'm sure, affect the way that you coach and the way the kids play, just by knowing that's part of the.
And even as a coaching point, you can tell them, hey, this is where you got to get to.
Right.
So your help defense has got to get here,
yep.
rather than, oh yeah, you can be late on your help and it's okay because you can take a charge under the rim. And so, it is something that I think is really good, and I do hope that they will adopt at some point. But I also wish we'd adopt a shot clock, and that hasn't happened either. So.
Well, I mean, there's room for improvement in all these aspects. I think a shot clock would also be really helpful to expand the game in terms of what it allows teams to do.
Well, and sure, and I'm not even talking about a shot clock like certainly not a 24-second shot clock like the NBA, or even if we're talking about a 35-second shot clock like they have in some parts of the country, and like we went to that tournament in the Bahamas 2 years ago and played with the 35-second shot clock. You know how many shot clock violations there were that I saw? Like two.
Yeah.
I mean, in like multiple games that I either coached in or watched. I mean, we had one in a game that we played in.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just
the modern game is built.
There's no sense in being able to stall the ball for 3 and 4 minutes at a time. I mean, nobody wants to watch that. It's not a good spectator experience. It's not teaching them to play well. I mean, it's something I wish we would do, but I don't control that either. So that my opinion is 75 cents will get you a cup of coffee or whatever. Except if you're going somewhere like a lot of these coffee places.
Nice move there for Finch. Campbell Finch, he's going to finish that right there. Up for long. He scores it.
That's a nice
move there for a big man. And that's going to bring us to the end of the first half with a long three. I spoke too soon, right? Long three from Carmelo Branch. Looked like he was going to be happy to just grab that ball and go to halftime, but no. He let that one fly and knocks it down, pushing the lead out at halftime to 42-26. Tampa Catholic over East Hamilton. So that's a
tough way to finish.
That's almost a back-breaking feeling right there, and the fact that East Hamilton kind of that last little 2 or 3 minute stretch had kind of kept that lead down to about a dozen. Feeling decent going into halftime. But man, that's a heck of a shot from the Arby's Classic sign over there to finish the first half. In that case, so we do have some.
Looks like we're going to have the Vikettes, the Tennessee High dance team.
Yeah, so we'll step aside, let you guys enjoy this little show, and we'll be back here for the third quarter here in about 10 minutes.
All right, welcome back to Viking Hall. We're here at halftime of the final game of the night. Coach Charlie Tiller, C.J. Manahan, our producer Colin Moore. We've got some halftime stats for you. Thus far, Tampa Catholic on the first half shot 17 for 32 from the field. That's right over 50%, about 56 or so. And they were 4 of 10 from three-point land. East Hamilton was 10 for 25 from the field, about 40%. They were 4 for 13 from three. Couple big stats. Tampa Catholic out-rebounded them 19 to 14, including 8 to 3 on the offensive board. So that's a pretty significant margin there for them. East Hamilton also had 15 turnovers. 9 of those were steals by Tampa Catholic. So, really good job by those guys getting after it on defense, as we chronicled throughout the first half. Now, as you look to some things individually, Tampa Catholic was led in the first half by Carter Knox, a fellow we've talked quite a bit about. He was 4 for 8 from the field for 10 points. Did hit the 1-3. They were all, as far as second on their team, they got 9 points from Edrin Bronson, 7 from Isaiah Campbell-Finch, and 6 from Roderick Watson-Piercy. So a pretty balanced attack for those guys. Also 9 points from Carmelo Branch, actually. So, really balanced scoring. A lot of guys putting some marks in that scoring column.
Yeah.
Nobody really stand out with rebounding-wise. Branch had 4 to lead them. But, you look down the rebounding column, a lot of 3s and 2s.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys doing it. You look at their steals. Isaiah Campbell-Finch, number 2, with 5 steals in the first half. That's a big part of what their success. Then you go over in here and look at East Hamilton. East Hamilton led in the first half by Ashton Munson with 13 points, but that was really about it. I mean, that's half of their points. Nobody else had more than 4. So I mean that's a big difference, is the balanced scoring of Tampa Catholic, and of course a lot of that's their defense, turning defense into offense, as we've talked about throughout the game, and just the way that they're able to change ends really fast. I mean, again, really makes me think of the Dorman game yesterday. And, of course, Dorman was playing Abingdon, who was not quite as competitive yesterday as East Hamilton is. But, again, that being able to just transition so quick from defense to offense, change ends of the floor and get those easy baskets, it helps your shooting percentage, makes you look a lot better as a coach.
Excellent. Yeah, that's a good rundown. And, think about it, 42 points in the first half is a 85-point pace. At times it didn't really feel like it was moving at that level, but there was also spurts there where Tampa Catholic was able to get points kind of in bunches. But as I said, it's a really good aspect of the fact that Haven hadn't really had a dominant score. It's been sort of a committee-style action here with a lot of input from especially their starting 5. And again, I would expect that to continue in the second half. Seems to be how the way that they're balanced.
And I think that's really the word you used that I think was the best there, spurts.
Yeah.
They didn't, it wasn't like we saw in the previous game we did together with Amarillo, where it was kind of steady, just steady. And, of course, they play a totally different style. But just their ability to just score in bunches, just, a 6-point burst here, an 8-point burst there, and just makes it really hard. It's almost like you feel like, I guess the analogy I'd use is kind of think about boxing, where Amarillo is looking to get body blow after body blow after body blow.
Yeah.
It's haymaker after haymaker here.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
that's a good
I think that's really what we're seeing here in this game with Tampa Catholic. But all that being said, it's a 14-point game.
Yeah.
East Hamilton is in the ball game. They've just got to try to keep some of those spurts down.
Correct. They've kind of dug into these different aspects with, stops and scores over a couple of minutes, and then boom, that quick, 15 or 20 second stretch where they, 6 points get put on the board. So, but again, you're right. Minute into the third quarter here, and we're looking at an opportunity with another couple of stops and scores. This game could be back into the single digits. Second halves. As we talked a little bit about the first half, the first 4 minutes of the third quarter oftentimes are where second halves are won and lost. Where you can a team that's down can really dig back into a game, or a team that's up can really kind of put the game to bed. So I'm sure that was on the coaches' minds at halftime. You look at it playing those games in kind of 4-minute spurts. And in this case, East Hamilton could, if you look at the 4-minute mark here, if the game's under 10 or under, they got to be feeling good like they're going to hang around. This is going to be a ball game all the way to the end. We've got a little zone action, looks like, here coming from Tampa Catholic. Good dive right there by the big man. Forced a foul. Again, coming into this, we looked at this at the beginning of the game and you say, 6'10" and 6'7" right here for East Hamilton. Hasn't really paid a ton of dividends for him. Here we go. Right, ball's kicked out long, and here goes Knox. Yeah, I mean that has been the name of the game. Coming back, nice play there by Branch, stepping into that passing lane. Here comes Knox again, a little short jumper, bang, just like that. 4 points in what was probably about 10 seconds. So now the lead pushes back out to 18.
Well, it's something here. I think with Tampa Catholic, they make you have to play almost. It's hard to say perfect, but you really have to be careful about the types of shots you take. Because if you take a three and it's a long rebound, they're going to get a run out. Yeah,
and there's Knox again on a personal 6-0 run. He's starting to help put this in, and then he steps in. Oh my! He was still sliding a little bit. I'll give the referee some credit there. He wasn't fully set.
I think that was probably a good call.
Probably a good call overall. I'd say probably 9 times out of 10 that's going to draw a charge. But I do think that was the right call there where Knox wasn't quite set, kind of slid into that play right there, sending East Hamilton to the line. So Colby Mason to the line for 2. Good aggressive move by him there, drawing some contact. Again, Knox really impressive here to start this third quarter. Dunk, short jump shot, drive to the rim, offensive board, put back. I mean, that's just showing off his whole game right there. Mason gets an offensive board, no good. Gets another offensive board, kicks back out for 3. That's off the side of the backboard, no good.
And see, that's a real missed opportunity for them. I mean, when they've kind of absorbed this haymaker right here, another long 3 attempt. To then come up empty right there, basically just get the 1 free throw on that trip when they had 3 or 4 really good shots.
And then you think about, a lot of times, nice move there by the big man, Pendleton inside. We need to see more of that from East Hamilton. A lot of times what we've seen now, and the modern game brings this to bear a lot, is offensive boards oftentimes are your best opportunities for kick out and step in threes, right? They're hard to manufacture in just the half court, especially with all these athletes out here. But if you nice back screen, there it was, saw it, nicely done. That's an old classic play against the 2-3 zone there, though. Screen the bottom 2 guys, but found Knox there. It was a nice find from the wing, and the big man went up and got it.
That's gonna be a violation. Yep.
Well set up play though. You saw how many ball swings they put in before that play actually happened. So they kind of lulled East Hamilton to sleep, and then put that little back screen in. And Knox went up high to hammer it down. So, but yeah, I mean, when you think about half court stuff, a lot of threes are generated off of offensive rebounds. Yeah. And again, missed opportunity there for East Hamilton. Could have pulled that lead back to under 15. There's Pendleton in the short corner. Big man dribbles out and picked off. Yep, there's another steal.
Baited him.
Yep, for Campbell Finch, and I think that's probably his 6th or 7th steal at this point. He's in the passing lanes all the time, and now this lead has ballooned up to 20 plus here at the 4-minute mark. So we hit the 4-minute mark, and as we said, what East Hamilton was hoping to do was dig this thing down towards 10, and what's happened is the opposite. Tampa Catholic's taking advantage of some errant passes here, and also just some slick defense. And they've generated quite a bit of offense off of that, a lot of it in transition, and now this lead is up over 20. Some substitutions in for both sides here. 0 Christian Cole is in, along with number 14, Donnie Morris. Short on the 3 there. And we got a Jump ball. Yep, got a jump ball. Possession stays with Tampa Catholic. Mark. Okay, no, it's not. Well, yes, it is. A little confusion there. Tampa Catholic.
Maybe.
Maybe. Well, let's check it. Let's check it and double check it. Oh, we got a little moving screen there on Morris. Good call there. Ball is now back to East Hamilton. 3 minutes and 25 seconds left here in the third quarter. 52-31. Tampa Catholic's pushed out to its largest lead.
And they're telling them now not to switch the arrow because of the offensive foul.
Right, correct.
That's why you wait to that. I always wondered when I was first down there, like doing scorebook or whatever, why'd they wait to switch the arrow till they threw it in? And that's why. That's exactly why.
Yep. 99% of the time it's not going to apply, but in cases where it does, that's exactly right. Inside the big man.
He also didn't realize how open he was.
He was wide open. Turned and scored.
He could have dropped that dunk right there.
Got himself some good space there and finished it. Good strong take right there.
I think he turned expecting contact and there was nobody.
Well, when you're as big as Mr. LeBou is, I suspect contact comes pretty natural.
I would say that's
in most situations.
Story.
So can't blame the guy for expecting it to happen. Donnie Morris, nice take there. It's going to get him to the free throw line here for 2. First shot's up off the back iron, no good. Subs back in for East Hamilton. Pendleton, Harrison, or Zach Harris, and Colby Mason back in the game for East Hamilton. Second shot up for Morris here is off the rack back iron and no good.
Our guy knocks up to 18 points
18 points, yeah. Really had a nice start to this quarter. I'd say that was a discussion that was happening at halftime as well, the ways to get him the ball. He's a very under control guy, but is explosive at the same time. Unintentional, but successful pass, only to be cut off by Knox there. And here we go. Tampa Catholic out on the run. Nice kick out. There's off the rim, no good. Offensive board, nice move there. Oh, we got a little hook, little chicken wing there.
Little clear out there.
Yeah, pretty good call there by the ref. Caught that one in that case. Again, that was interesting to watch. Now we got the reverse view of what we had in the first half. That you saw the Tampa Catholic guys go down. They fanned out beautifully in a 5-man break right there. So a couple of trailers, but those 3 guys are really hustling up the wings. That's got to be really tough to guard in the full court situation. Transition defense has got to be really tough when you're running up against a team that's that well disciplined and their spacing's that good. There goes Pendleton for his 3rd dunk of the game. Right. Good agility for a big man, 6'10". He's another guy that I think is getting some pretty good looks at the D1 level. Roll in there. Campbell Finch, he's been, quietly one of the more impressive guys out here, right? Knox gets a lot of the headlines, and rightly so. Yeah. He deserves that. But this guy's really, he'll be one of those guys that I think will probably shine in these games as we head down into through the winners bracket. Not getting ahead of ourselves here yet, but the reality is he's one of those guys that is kind of sneaky good in a lot of different areas of the game.
Well, you look at his numbers right now: 9 points. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 6 steals, just kind of filling up the box score.
Yep. Every successful team kind of needs one of those guys that does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, I mean, the 6 steals is a lot,
yeah,
but the others are just kind of a little bit of everything.
Yep.
And you're right. That's something that you need on every team is that kind of Swiss Army knife guy who fills a bunch of roles.
Yep. He defends really well. He plays without fouling. He's got active hands. He's obviously quick. He's just one of those guys that has a little bit of everything going for him. Another big in the game here. number 13, Jackson Roberts, 6'9".
His first appearance
this evening. There he goes.
Kid.
He's just a sophomore, so he's got quite a bit of room to grow yet. Tampa Catholic roster is pretty deep overall. And again, only one senior. Is that what I'm seeing here?
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, predominantly sophomore-laden group.
Sophomore junior team, really.
Yep. So they got a lot of room to grow with this bunch.
That's going to be a foul.
Yep. Somebody's holding there. Yep. Foul on Long. Yep. Could have gone either way, honestly.
Yeah. I really wasn't sure. I thought that we might get an offensive foul right there, but because our guy we were just talking about, Mr. Roberts, he was clearing them out pretty good. He's like, Coach said to use my body, and he was.
That's it. You can't teach him to be big.
That is a true statement.
So under a minute to play here in the third. Nice move, inside out, nice pass right there. Campbell Finch kind of, again, doing a little bit of everything. Long three by Branch, no good. No, nice defense right there. Lost his balance, though. Ball back out. East Hamilton 4-3. That's number 2, Jackson Clemens. Stepped into one right there. Again, cut the lead back to 16. 10 seconds to go here in the third. Three seconds. Nice step back dribble. And Campbell Finch, a nice move to create some space there, but could not get that one to drop. So after 3, we head into the fourth quarter here with a 16-point Tampa Catholic lead over East Hamilton. One more quarter to go here on night 2 of the 38th annual Arby's Classic. We'll be back in just a minute to finish up this broadcast. Welcome back to Viking Hall. Last quarter of the last game of night 2, Tampa Catholic with a 16-point lead, 54-38 over East Hamilton. Catholic has the ball to start the quarter. Been an impressive show for them, and they really came out well in that third and played excellent ball. Jumped out to push the lead up to over 20. East Hamilton's going to work their way back here over the last couple of minutes, but first 4 minutes of this fourth quarter will be really telling in terms of whether or not this game gets tight. Good offensive board there by Tampa Catholic in that case. Again, those 4-minute segments are really key. Another long three that's gone awry. Maybe an over-the-back call there.
I think that is what we're going to get. I thought he might have called it out of bounds. But
15 fouls, 6 fouls on Hamilton, so we're getting close to the bonus here as we head into the final stage. Again, East Hamilton kind of hanging around.
Yeah.
Now this game is quite a ways from over, especially if they get a couple more buckets here. Things might start getting tight for the Crusaders.
The Crusaders brought the first group back in too, which is
pretty telling as well. They try to run this thing out. Again, that's where they're at their best, right there, creating havoc, and then guards pushing ball out, getting that thing into transition mode. Good hands right there. And again, here we go. Here goes Knox, taking a strong. He missed. Maybe the one mistake he's made tonight. Right? Maybe other than the missed dunk he had in the first half, although that was pretty impressive in its own right.
Yeah. To make those kind of mistakes.
Yeah, right. Man, it's got to be rough. Right?
I tell you, first world problem right there.
No doubt about it. So anyway, but he's played a great game. Really has from top to bottom. Very smooth player. Has done a little bit of everything as well for his team. Another guy that I kind of wonder if, as a junior and senior, is he gonna become more of a guard, right?
Yeah.
Because he seems to have that skill set. Right now he's playing more of a front court role, but that may be just what his team needs him to do. But he seems to. We saw him bring the ball up the floor at least once in the first half, and it looks like he's got a real smooth handle as well. So, and again, he may not even have been growing yet. He's probably only 15 or 16 years old. Yeah. So he's another one of those guys to keep an eye on.
That's one of those things too. I mean, 18 points, 4 rebounds.
Yeah.
4 assists, 3 steals. I mean, doing a little bit of everything. Kind of like we talked about. I misspoke on the assist. My graphic changed right there. So, but 4 rebounds and 3 steals to go with his 18 points.
Nice move there by Munson to finish. Watson Piercy got a 3-point play on the other end just a moment ago as well.
I think he'll definitely see more than Boise State.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing against the Broncos.
No. It's a quality program, right? But again, those early offers tend to come in, and again, much of that's done on the AAU circuit. I know at these points now, and oh my goodness,
mercy! Oh mercy!
That's one of the more impressive plays, if not the most impressive play I've seen this evening. Nice little step through, and he with authority went down there, but also with relative ease as well.
I mean, it really didn't even look that like he really expended a lot of energy doing it, just hammered it.
Yeah, but that last little hop step and just crushed that one in that case. So again, looking forward to seeing a guy like him grow into his body, because right now, I mean, he's still fairly slight, but and again, that stuff develops as they get to year 17 and 18 a lot of times. But man, what an athlete, and a guy that just seems to play really well within himself. I haven't seen him really force anything. He hasn't really had to.
He's really let it all come to him, and taking the opportunities where they are, but not done anything out of their offense or anything where you feel like, oh, he's just trying to take over.
He's just – they've run some stuff for him, but at the same time, he hasn't he's been involved in just about every aspect of the game, but it doesn't feel like he's had to go be in any situation where he just had to go take control of anything. Now, that may change. We get deeper into this tournament. Does he have that ability? I guess will be a question, and I'm sure that would be one of those things.
Tomorrow night he may have to.
He may have to. Exactly. Correct.
I mean, playing Long Island Lutheran.
That ought to be a heck of a ball
assuming
game.
that this score holds.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing against East Hamilton, but that's a whole other. Then you're talking about one of the top 5 teams in the country.
Yeah, and they've got a couple guys that are rated maybe not as high as Knox, but they're in that top 150 all the way around. So you're talking about a group that brings multiple players of that caliber to the table. We got Pierre that's going to Providence, and you've got Johns and
only UConn and Wake Forest.
Yeah, just UConn and Wake Forest. So you got, you talk about, and I think, and
then Reed, who's ranked number 130 in the Rivals top 150.
And I think Reed was one of the more impressive players that I saw all evening. Again, another guy that's super smooth, under control. It probably was close to a double-double. Had probably 7 or 8 assists, along with 18 to 20 points, and he's just one of those guys that the matchup and their styles probably are a little more similar. So that'd be one of those games that if this does hold up, that'd be really interesting to watch.
Yeah, as I said, and a lot of the crowd is cleared out here as this one's kind of gotten out of hand a little bit, but we're going to have some great games the next 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, folks, if you have a chance, you ought to get down here because you're going to see some really super high-level basketball. I mean, if you like basketball, I can't think of any place better to be, really.
No, if you're in the area, and even if you're outside the area, this is a trip worth taking. It really is. The facility here, if you've never been, or if you haven't been in a while, is top notch. You're not going to find a much better place to watch a ball game amongst 5,000 or so of your peers, because I would say the crowds are probably going to continue to grow as a little bit more of the information about these players gets out. Now everybody's kind of seen who everybody is. I would expect to see Viking Hall pretty close to capacity over these next couple of nights.
Well, and I mean, like we talked about, and I was talking to a couple of guys, during the last game down in the hospitality room. This group is this. Some years you come to the tournament and you think, oh well, this team isn't like they were billed, or this team wasn't like. These teams are all there cracked up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, these first 2 days, I've been extremely impressed with the level of play, with the caliber of players that we're seeing, and just the overall competitiveness. And, one thing, and really I thought about when you were talking about Mr. Knox, I haven't seen anybody really try to just do too much.
No.
There have been so many of these teams, these top-level teams, that everybody is just running through their offense.
Yep.
I think that today's players sometimes get a bad rap as far as about their discipline on the court and the ways that they play. I mean, these guys are pretty darn good, and they do a lot of things really the right way.
Yeah.
And I think that that's something that is really, as a basketball fan, that's something that's really heartening to me.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's the AAU angle to some things, I think, also gets a bad rap. But when these guys play as much basketball as they play, and they play on really good teams, you kind of have to be able to delegate some of that. You can't have, and they don't necessarily have one dominant player. They've got groups of guys that can all play, and so sharing the rock in that aspect, but also being part of a large group of talented guys, kind of necessitates that.
Well, I mean, you look at and looking at it last night when I'll bring up Dr. Phillips again.
Yeah.
You look at their numbers from last year. None of those guys were averaging. They have 3 high-level D1 guys. None of them averaged more than like 17 a game last year. But that's because there are 3 of them.
Right.
I mean, when you've got a guy that's going to Kansas and a guy that's going to Mississippi State and a guy that's going to Florida, I mean, and those aren't just. I mean, they're all Power 5 programs.
Right.
They're all conference championship contenders.
Elite level.
I mean, even you think, Mississippi State, Ben Howland is their coach.
Yeah.
I mean, that dude's been
in the
Final
Fours. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about a high level, and so, of course, their numbers may not be super, but I think that has to be beneficial for them, too.
Yeah.
As a team, obviously, but even as individuals, because when they go to college, they're going to play with guys like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just have been really impressed with these guys and what we've seen these first 2 days, and I do I keep pounding the drum. I hope people get out and see this because you just don't. As a person who's lived in Bristol most of my life, this is not something that we get to see all the time.
Right.
We're fortunate we do get to see it once a year,
right.
every year.
Right.
But this level of talent, I mean, it's just another level, and it's probably 2 or 3 levels actually.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun these first couple of days, and now when you have a lot of these teams playing each other, that's when it's going to get real fun.
Yeah. Well, and then obviously coming out of the era where COVID kind of cut a lot of seasons short. I was looking up and down the list of these teams, and some teams only played 2, 3, 4, 5 games last year. That might be an aspect that's going on with this as well, is the fact that maybe part of the reason why we're seeing such hyper-competitive angles is a lot of these guys didn't get to play much last year.
Sure.
So,
even Tampa Catholic, they played 26 games.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that's not
not a lot.
That's not really a lot.
Usually a team like that, you're looking at probably, like for example, the year we went to the state tournament.
Oh my goodness!
That dude. He's
up.
that dude, man.
Yeah, he is that dude. Yes.
Like the year we went to the state tournament, we played 33 games.
Yeah.
If you're playing 26 games, that's nothing.
So that means that's like taking an entire postseason out of the scenario, which is
Yeah.
where the postseason for a lot of your, especially your up-and-comers, your sophomores and juniors, that's where they really start to become what you're hoping they're going to become as you go through. And if you don't get into those hyper-competitive situations, district tournaments, regional tournaments, state and sub-state, that's where those guys really grow, right? And for teams of these caliber, I'm sure when you're not getting that action, it's hard for those guys to take that next step, especially as they grow through the program. So,
and Long Island Lutheran played 3 games.
Yeah, that's why I saw that.
3
games before it was all cut.
Golly.
So depending on where you were in the country, I mean, you saw just a handful of teams in there that played.
Yeah, they played 3, and there was another one. Well, Myers Park, who didn't get to come because of COVID.
Right.
I mean, they played 8 games last year. Tabernacle didn't get to play at all.
Yeah. Yep.
So I mean, it's great to have it back. It's great to have these teams here, and again, I hope that folks will get out and see it for themselves, and it's a great thing.
And the experience is made better by the fact that the folks that come out and watch these ball games are all here for that same reason. The competitive nature of these ball games, as well as they want that moment that we just saw with Knox going up, but they want that in a game that is going to be 2 teams going at each other here. Now the one thing I remember going through the years is just how loud this place can get.
Yes.
The acoustics in here when you get a real competitive game with high caliber teams, and you put 4,000 or 5,000 people up in this place. It's an experience for sure.
No question. I mean, of course, I always think back to, and you may remember or it may have been before you moved to Bristol, when Science Hill played Augusta Westside in the championship game in 1994, and that game was broadcast on ESPN2 on tape delay, but it was just fantastic. And you had the really good Science Hill teams that went on to win state championships, and you had this Augusta Westside team with Ricky Moore, who won a who won a national title at Connecticut, and William Avery, who played at Duke. And I mean, just mano a mano, and they ended up Augusta Westside won it in overtime, and this place was just rocking. And of course, you had the huge crowd of Science Hill people, and then you had some of us who were, let's just say, not Science Hill people.
Understood. I heard. I remember Coach Burns talking about that game specifically down in the cafeteria hospitality room. There were people that were coming up to the door down there and putting $100 bills up against the glass trying to get in.
Yeah.
we were already at capacity. The fire marshal had shut it down. So
it was super,
nuts.
man.
That's crazy.
I mean, that was my senior year of high school, and I was sitting down there in the bleachers in our student section, and let's just say we were not cheering for the Hilltoppers. And when that game was over, we may or may not have rushed the court. I can neither confirm nor deny that.
There's probably no video evidence of that.
Actually, there probably is video evidence of that. But it was a really great time, and you just look back on things like that, and that's what this tournament's about.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had so many great ones over the years, and this definitely, will be a credit. And you mentioned Coach Burns. Of course, we'd be remiss, and since we got a little time right here, I mean, I know he meant a lot to you.
Absolutely.
That man meant a ton to me. Yeah. He's helped me so much in my career, but I know that I'm just one of many. Yeah. I mean, listening to people talk about him since he unfortunately passed in September, a person who he would do anything for anybody.
Oh, yeah.
And I know, listening to Norris Bain talk at his memorial service, it was just, he's the man most responsible for what we have here now.
Oh, absolutely.
And,
well, his reach went really far. Right, obviously, we talked about
100%.
Norris and the relationship with Tabernacle Baptist in the Bahamas, and obviously he reached out to teams in Italy and Germany and everything else, but also just throughout the country in terms of building the relationships that were this. I remember being in his accounting class, and I don't think he was ever off the phone.
No, I had him for 2 years, 2 years for accounting, and then I had him for a year and a half for accounting and a semester for economics. That man was on the phone more than any human I've ever met in my life.
It was the same way when I was there. So, I mean, and again, same thing. Personal for me, in the fact that I moved to Bristol in the summer of 1996. It was my sophomore year. Come from a small town in Minnesota. Bristol was a metropolis in comparison to where I came from, and so and for a kid like me, he didn't have any necessity to give me a chance, but he did, right?
Sure.
And then from there, once you earned your keep with that guy, as you said, he was gonna be in your corner. from there on. So as far as my college recruitment process, I mean, obviously he was a King guy, and I ended up going to King as well. So there was always that little bit of kinship that we got out of that. And you think about his time at the latter part of the 90s into the early 2000s, Tennessee High was a pipeline to King 100%. College at that time. And we had some really good success with players coming out of Tennessee High and going to King and having great careers over there.
Yeah.
Right? So again, I'm always going to be thankful for the fact that the Dale Burns I ran across Dale Burns in my life, and the fact that he was willing to give me a chance and help me through my process as well, basketball and otherwise.
Yeah.
So this tournament doesn't happen without him.
100%. I mean, and I was not a talented player, didn't play really. But I kept stats for him my senior year, and I was his guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just one of his guys, and he, is a person who just definitely meant a whole lot to me. And and then when I came back to trying to get into teaching and coaching, he was a person who took up for me when I needed taken up for.
Yep.
When I was young and stupid and needed somebody in my corner, and I'll always appreciate that. And I'm the tournament director of our girls tournament, and for the last 3 or 4 years, he had helped me with the girls' tournament, getting teams, which he was great at, and helping me with all these little things. And it was so noticeable this year with that tournament. I'd be like, oh gosh, I've got to do that because Coach Burns isn't here.
Right.
And it was, I mean, and I knew all of the things that he was doing to help me, but it was just like that reminder. Things like he took care of the T-shirts. He took care of, a number of different things that I just didn't have to worry about. And this year it was like, oh, I guess I better order some T-shirts. Oh, I guess I better. And that was
he just had all that stuff
that
locked
was
down.
Just, that was just the way he was. I mean, he would go and do anything and never have to be asked, of course. But one thing I really appreciated as far as the tournament director thing, he also really took it as a mentoring type of thing and didn't try to impose himself on me. Whereas, I mean, somebody that had done all of the things he had done, he could have said he asked, he's like, you need some help? And I was like, sure, yeah, of course. And he was like, well, let's do this and let's do this. But it was never like, hey, you should do this. It's, let's do this. Let's do this together, and it wasn't like he was imposing ever. And if I didn't want to do something, it didn't hurt his feelings.
Right.
And, that's just the lack of ego was so noticeable too, as far as that type of stuff. So, we really miss him.
Yeah.
It's really weird to look over there and not see him.
Yeah.
But, this is the tournament that he built, and we're going to try and carry on this legacy and play our little part in carrying on his legacy.
Very good. That's excellent. So, signing off this evening, Tampa Catholic advances to the next round, 80-58 over East Hamilton. Again, great basketball today. I would say it's going to continue on with the sort of hyper-competitive nature of what we're going to see here, and as well as the amount of talent that we're seeing unfold here in front of us as well. So, signing off this evening on the Viking Sports Network from my partner Charlie Tiller, this is CJ Manahan. We'll hopefully catch you guys tomorrow. If you can be here in person, be here. Right? 38th annual Arby's Classic. We'll catch you guys again tomorrow.